Coming in, guys, day number 2 of my ice bath challenge that I'm doing here in 2022. If you missed it yesterday, I am doing 365 days of an ice bath challenge. I have my Morozco Forge all ready to go. Lots and lots of ice in there. I had a whole lot of questions come in yesterday when I announced that I would be doing these ice baths daily for the whole year. So many questions. I want to address a specific type of one, but I want to get in the bath before I start addressing it. So come on in, guys. Getting ready for day number 2 of getting into very, very cold. Let me see what the temperature is today. It does fluctuate a little bit. Oh, it is down to 32.9 degrees today. So very, very cold. Just a reminder for those of you that don't think this is legit, look at this kind of ice. So this is the Morozco Forge, and it is an ice bath machine. It controls the temperature. I stick it on 32 degrees. And so, yes, this is hardcore. If you've never done any kind of ice challenge before, I'm going to talk to you guys today that worry about this and are like, oh, I could never do that. I want to address you in a minute, but I want to get into the Morozco Forge. My goal, in case you missed it, is 5 minutes in 32, 33, whatever temperature I can get it down to, as low as I can a day. So yesterday I made it to the 5 minutes. About 3 minutes in, I'm like, all right, I need to stop talking and I need to breathe, because sometimes breathing. And Teresa says, you're making my point, Teresa. She says you're crazy. But then again, we already knew that. Yes, I am crazy, but crazy enough to do this for my health. Lots and lots of ice, and we're going to get into the ice bath here. But I do want to address the people that said, oh, I could never do that. So let me set this down, just like I did yesterday. Tilt it forward so you can see all the action of Jimmy freezing his tushy off. I do have my timer ready to go. We're going to put it on 5 minutes, and we're going to press start, and then I'm going to go in there. So here we go. So you get in, and obviously it's a little intense when you first get in, so don't worry about that. But let me address this real quick. I posted about this challenge yesterday, and a lot of people said, I could never do that. If that's you, if you're watching this and you're like, I don't get it, I don't understand it, I don't know why you would do it, I could never do it, blah, blah, blah. Can I just tell you, stop doing that? Because you're telling yourself what you want to hear. I don't think we realize as human beings just how capable we are of things that we are. And I feel like people psych themselves out of things long before they could have accomplished them. And no, maybe you can't get into a whole tub like this full of ice. And this is intense. I will tell you, this is not for the faint of heart. This is very hard. But what you can do is start in a shower with some warm water. If you're used to doing hot showers, one lady on Facebook said, well, I like my hot showers. I don't know if I could do a cold one. I'm like, you're not using it to bathe. You're using it to get the cold benefits. So if you've only done hot showers, go to warm water at the end of your shower. Then once you acclimate to warm water, then go to pushing the water cooler and cooler and cooler, and just incrementally get there. Look, I've been working on this for 3 years, starting with warm showers, going down to cold showers. Once I got used to cold showers, then I went and bought 20-pound bags of ice from Sam's Club and put them in my bathtub. And I did that for a long time. And then I had the great privilege of being able to get this Morozco Forge, which a lot of people are like, where do you get all that ice in that ice tank you're in? I'm like, it makes its own ice. That's the cool thing about the Morozco Forge. And so I'm about halfway through my 5 minutes, by the way, you guys. I'm right at 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes. Um, so don't do that to yourself. I think sometimes people will say things like, I could never do that, so that they don't even have to think about doing something that could be good for them. And I hate that. I hate it when people do that with keto, for example. Oh, I could never cut out my carbs. I could never give up sugar. I could never not have bread ever again. You know that if you've eaten keto, that you've heard people say that. All they're doing is just dismissing it very quickly in an attempt to say, well, that's not for me. Well, how do you know? How do you know it's not for you? How do you know until you try? How do you know until you put yourself in that situation where you could see the benefits? And look, I'm going to be doing this all year long. So a lot of people are like, tell us the complete list of all the benefits you get from cold thermogenesis. And I'm like, well, number one, you can Google that. But number two, I've got a long time this year to talk about cold therapy. If I'm going to go on camera every single day, which is my goal, I want to be held accountable so that you guys know that I'm legit doing this. So guys, I'm down to 1 minute left to get the 5 minutes. I'm actually doing pretty great. The worst thing is my hands, as always. My hands feel so prickly. I don't really like that feeling in the hands, but the rest of my body is actually pretty good. I've actually been able to hold my composure pretty well in here. Usually I need to be breathing pretty good, but I'm doing all right. So this is where you can get to. I don't want somebody to look at me in this tub and say, wow, I could never, because they see me after 3 years of working on this. I didn't just jump into this kind of thing. I've been working on it for a while. It's just like the gym. You're not going to go and deadlift 300 pounds the first time you go into a gym. No, it's just not going to happen. But you can get to that level if you work at it, possibly. All right, so I'm coming up at the end of the 5 minutes. Wow, that flew by really fast today. Yeah, I hear it. Beep, beep, beep. I hear you. All right, so let me end it by skipping somebody's. Woo! That is how you do an ice bath. Yeah, I hear you, beeper. All right, let's turn that off. There we go. See? That's how you do it. Somebody says, Jacob says, just leave your hands out of the water. Actually, you want your hands and your feet in the water. I talked to the Morozco Forge people about this specifically. And they said, no, get your hands in the water, because I was cupping my hands. And they're like, no, you want the exposure to the cold because you want to get used to it. And yeah, you get a lot of benefits, but keeping the hands, and this is why you put the ice all the way up to your neck, really to the vagus nerve, which is on the bottom part of your head, the back of your neck, is where you're trying to get underwater. And so I do that when I get into the ice bath. And it's pretty intense. Like I said, my hands all prickly when I'm in there. But this is day number 2. If you joined in late, welcome. I am doing a 365-day challenge here in 2022 to get into an ice bath for 5 minutes a day. And I'm not talking about just any old casual ice bath. This is 33 degree water. I'm using the Morozco Forge, which is a name brand of an ice bath. And it lets you control the temperature. It makes its own ice. It's really fancy, and it's got a filtration system to keep the water clean. It's pretty cool. I've enjoyed it so far. I've had it now for a couple months, and have been sporadically in and out of it over that time. But it was time to do a challenge. I had a functional medicine doctor reach out to me today, and she's like, are you sure 5 minutes? Are you sure it's not 45 seconds, 2 minutes? Like, why 5 minutes? And I said, well, I want to see how I do. I've done cold thermogenesis for a while. Let's see how I do. And so she's like, well, I just don't want people to think that they have to do 5 minutes and they have to do 33 degrees. I'm like, no, I'm making it clear you work your way to whatever you can do. And look, there might be a day that I'm in there and 2 minutes in, I'm like, all right, I got to get out. I'm not going to be silly about it. And at the same time, I think there will be days too that I'll be in there for 5 minutes and I'll be like, I want to push it a little bit longer. But 33 degrees is very intense. For those of you that missed it, the temperature is like 32.9 degrees today. So I felt every bit of that in my fingers. Literally, if my fingers didn't get frozen, and my toes also, I can feel my toes are pretty frozen. If they didn't have the pain of the cold, the rest of my body actually handles it quite well. And I actually enjoy it on the rest of my body. All right, let me scroll back to the top because I know while I was in there, a bunch of you were typing and I can't see it that far away. So we're going to see what you were saying. Sharon says, oh boy, yes, I'm doing this every day, Sharon, for 365 days this year. At least as much as I can. I'm going to probably travel a little bit. And so if I'm traveling, obviously I'll be in a hotel room. And we'll either, if it's got a bathtub, dump some ice in there and get in that way, or do a cold shower. That's what I'll do. But when I'm home, I'm in my Morosco Forge. Keto Lacey says, hey. Bulletproof coconut, Go-Go Jimmy with ice cubes, frozen face, and snowflakes. Yeah, so I was looking at the forecast coming up here the next week here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. It's supposed to be, I think by next weekend, down to 24 degrees in the morning. So I might be having some morning walks that give me some cold thermogenesis coming up soon. Linda says, yikes. Yes. Sharon says, oh, dang. Teresa says, I tried to take a cold shower today and could barely stand it. You go. Well, don't do it that way. This is where people say I could never do it. They try a cold shower and it's like, ugh. Well, yeah, that's not the way you acclimate. If you're used to hot showers, just when you're at the end of your shower, just slightly pull it down to a warm temperature. And do that for a little while. And then once you get used to the warm, then just slowly start to move it down to a little colder. Don't just go right to the coldest and then, because of course you're not going to be able to stand that. Take it in chunks. Get yourself acclimated. I've gotten myself so acclimated to cold that I could literally go over to the house. I could turn on a completely cold shower and do fine with it. Obviously, I was just in 32.9 degree temperature water. I can handle that. What is it? 60s for the temperature, 60s, probably low 60s is what the coldest would be. I guess it depends on the time of the year. When it's winter, and it hasn't been very winter here lately, but when it's cold outside, it can get a lot colder in your pipes. But anyway, work your way down is the point. Sharon says, can you make a Bloody Mary with all that ice? It is very, very thick ice, very intense. So what it does is it's got this mechanism on the bottom. These guys that created the Morosco Forge, they are all engineers. And so they came up with this idea to have the thing make its own ice. So basically the water that's in there, it starts freezing at the bottom part and then it releases the ice and it's this big chunk of ice. And so you have to like lift it up out of the water and kind of, crash it down so it'll break up into pieces. But yeah, I love that thing. I love how it makes its own ice. Jacob says, Jimmy Burr. Yeah, it was cold going in there. But like I said, I've gotten used to cold for a long time. I've done this a little while. And so it's not a big deal. I'm getting used to having this Morosco Forge. I've never had it this intensely cold before. Ray Lucas says, just watching this is making me shiver. Yes, look, I think cold therapy is like everything else. People always say, I could never eat keto because I love bread and sweets too much. People say I could never fast because I get too hungry. And so I think we create these ideas in our mind about what these experiences will be like. And we prejudge them unfairly, I would say. In those two cases, with keto and fasting, it's nothing like what people think it's going to be. And I'm going to add now ice baths. It's not what you think it's going to be. And you have to start putting your head on the idea that you need to acclimate, that you need to warm into it. Like, look, you wouldn't do a ketogenic diet. You wouldn't just jump right into that from the standard American diet. You might ease into it. You wouldn't go to a 21-day fast the first time you've ever gone without food. No, you would do intermittent fasting and you'd build up to that 21 days. So why would it be any different for the ice bath? And I'm trying to encourage people, don't readily dismiss this. I can't tell you how many people yesterday across all the platforms on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere that I posted this yesterday, all these people are like, well, good for you, but I would never do that. And it's like, you're just robbing yourself. Like, honestly, I don't care if you do an ice bath or not. It's no skin off my back. I'm getting the benefits of it. And I'm enjoying the benefits of it. By the way, I'm sitting here now about 10 minutes after getting out of the ice bath. Still cold, but I can feel the warmth of my body warming myself up. So that's kind of cool. That's a neat sensation. And the zenness, the really kind of calmness that comes over you, I can't describe adequately just how chill, literally, it makes you in your mood. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But don't dismiss this. I feel like a lot of people, when I posted this challenge that I would be doing, they were just like, oh, well, no, it's not for me. How do you know? How do you know it's not for you? How do you know that this isn't something that you should add to your health arsenal? I'm going to make it my job this year, you guys, going on camera every day during this 365 days. And somebody said, well, I haven't been convinced yet. I'm like, I'm not trying to convince you. I don't give a crap what you do. Honestly, that's your choice. If you choose not to get the benefits of cold thermogenesis, that's on you. I don't care. That's not, no skin off my back. All I know is I have seen great, especially mindset, mental health benefits from doing this. And I'm trying to share the love with you that this is something that might enhance your life as well. Sleep improves, all kinds of things get better. And I just, it's like everything else in the health community. It's a tool, it's something you can use, it's something you can try. And if it's something you want to try, then do it. Don't let anybody hold you back, including yourself. I could never do that. Well, yeah, with that attitude, you certainly won't ever do that. And that was like a reverberating theme with all the comments yesterday. Well, good for you, but I would never do that. That's too much. I can't handle the cold. And I was just going, man, buck up. Work your way up. But don't jump into an ice bath if you've never done this before. Start slow and work your way so that you tolerate it better. Cassandra says, it's the best. I've just been in my pool for the last 4 months, 53 to 56 degrees, and it's been life-changing. Yes, Cassandra, a lot of people I have some friends in the UK who jump into a lake, and people here in America, there's little frozen over lakes, and they'll saw out a little hole in there and pop in there. And then there's people that have swimming pools like you who get into their swimming pool. That totally counts, you guys. And yeah, you're gonna get benefits. And you definitely want to try to get it down to at least the cold shower temperature. So that would be like in the 60s, 70s. Because that's when the body can start to do some of the benefits that you get from the cold therapy. And when you get to that level where you can handle colder, that's when the ice comes into play. My body is shivering a little bit now, so that's kind of a good sign too. And especially in the midsection of my body, where I have the body fat, I can feel the quivering. It's just, it's kind of cool to feel it in real time doing what it does. It's literally shaking my body warm, and that's actually mobilizing some body fat. So Booyah. Booyah. Good work, says Jacob. Thank you. Shayna says, I did cold water today at the very end for a few minutes of your shower. That's awesome. It was invigorating. Thanks for the inspiration. Yes. Look, if you do nothing else when you take your shower, and hopefully you bathe daily, or if you don't, whenever you bathe, just turn it down. Just turn down the water to the cold. And you'll be surprised. There were days when I would be in the cold and I would stay on that cold water on the shower for probably 45 minutes to an hour. I was just enjoying it so much, just getting it all over my head, all over my body, and just turning around. And yeah, there's this certain just level of peace and zen that comes over you when you do that. And then when I would get into the bathtub with the 20-pound bag of ice from Sam's Club, same thing. I would get in there and it would be so exhilarating. I would stay in forever. Now, this is a little more intense because my whole body can be submerged, and it's submerged in almost freezing temperature water. And so 5 minutes is probably a sweet spot. I know some people, they get in the Morozco Forge for 30 to 60 seconds, and that's all they can do. Great. And then there's other people that have worked themselves up like me. I did 5, and you noticed I didn't really stop talking all throughout. Usually I do have to breathe at some point, and do kind of some methodical breathing, but I didn't have to do that at all today. I actually was very comfortable in there. And there's going to be good days, bad days. Some days I will need to breathe a little more and not talk. And other days I could probably do what I did today. I probably could have gone a little longer, but 5 minutes was fine for today. Excuse the pun. That's the cool thing about it, says Jacob. I inadvertently do lots of puns, people tell me. So, yes. Courtney says, woohoo, yes. Woohoo indeed. It affects the fat burning, right? Which fat, again, brown. So, yes, it mobilizes brown fat, which is the good kind of fat that you want. And so, yeah, it does a lot of things metabolically. I'm probably going to bring on somebody from the Morozco Forge company onto one of my podcasts to talk about cold. And what would be really cool is if we go on camera in the Morozco Forge on both ends. Like they're in the Morozco Forge doing an ice bath. I'm doing it for like the first 5 minutes of the episode. And then we get out and sit down and finish the interview drip drying. That'd be fun. I'm going to get back to cold showers. I used to do it based on Sean Baker's recommendation. Yes, Sean would basically show on camera that he'd just rinse off a couple minutes with cold water right before bedtime. And it does. It is so glorious, guys. I mean, the sun's going down here. It's 5:15. By 7:15, 8 o'clock, I'm going to be snoozing because this cold does something for your body temperature. And your body temperature dropping turns on so many hormones about your sleep. Melatonin is going through the roof right now for me. Obviously, serotonin, oxytocin, all the kind of feel-good hormones, they all get turned on as well. So don't think this is just, well, what's that do? I don't really see what it does. It does so many things, it's hard for me to clearly articulate all the things. But the sleep thing is really nice. I'm going to get back at it now. You've motivated me. Awesome, Jacob. Cassandra says, I've been able to stop taking my natural sleeping meds, sleeping like a rock every night. There it is. That's what I'm telling you. And thank you, Cassandra, for sharing your story. That's what I'm telling you. You have no idea how this will help you. One of the sleep tips that I've often given is get your sleep environment cool at night. And so I try to keep it around 65 degrees. It's been a little warmer lately, and I'm not turning on the air this time of year. So I've turned on fans and open windows, and that's helped a lot. But going in an ice bath a couple hours before bedtime, my body temp is already doing the drop thing. And when your body temperature drops, your body is primed for deep sleep. Trust me on this, guys. And I've got a friend right now who's struggling with her sleep. And I said, are you rinsing off with cold water for a couple minutes before you go to bed? And she said, no. I said, start doing that. You're going to be surprised by how well it helps you sleep. I have a pool, says Sharon. Do it, Sharon. It's sufficiently cold this time of year to get into your pool and use that for your cold thermogenesis. Jacob says, didn't realize it helps with your sleep. Shift worker for 30 years. I struggle with sleep. Definitely curious. Well, definitely try it and see how it does for you. I have seen pretty marked improvement. I do a lot of things for my sleep, so I'm not crediting just ice baths, but ice baths and magnesium and keeping the room dark and keeping the room cool, turning off the lights, not eating or drinking within 4 hours of bedtime. All of those things in conjunction with one another have provided benefits. So, and those of you that came in late, this is day number 2. I'm doing a 365-day ice bath challenge. I'm using the hashtag Jimmy Ice. And we're going to get into the Morozko Forge every single day, which is my ice bath tank thingy out there. Today it was 32.9 degrees Fahrenheit. For those of you in other countries that use Celsius, it's barely half a degree Celsius, 1 degree Celsius, the temperature of the water. So really, really cold. And yeah, getting in there for 5 minutes a day. And I want to make this my big challenge in 2022. And look, I'm not trying to convince you, but I am trying to make a persuasive argument that this is something you should be adding to your health routine. A lot of you eat keto, a lot of you fast, a lot of you add in movement, but maybe you haven't thought about doing this kind of a thing before. And I'm hoping to demystify it. I don't want you to think that there's no science behind this. There's lots of science behind it, and I'll be sharing that early and often throughout this challenge, all throughout the year. I've got 365 days worth of content to talk about this, so bear with me, guys. I've got lots more to say, but hopefully today, me addressing the I could never do that crowd, you're just robbing yourself. You're just robbing yourself. I have seen tremendous benefits, especially when I was going through some really tough mental challenges over the past couple of years. Ice baths and cold showers have just been wonderful in helping. So hopefully this helps you. I'm going to come on camera about this time every day because I try not to do these earlier in the day. I did it at, what did I do? I think I did like 2 o'clock in the afternoon a couple weeks ago, just to get it in. Think I need to just get it in. But unfortunately, all the mechanisms that make me sleepy kicked in, and I was in bed by 4:30. I was like, I need to do this closer to bedtime and not just randomly during the day. I know my friend Mike Muscle, he likes to do a minute in the morning, a minute or two in the morning, and then a minute or two at night. I'm afraid if I do it in the morning, I will get sleepy. So definitely will not be doing the cold baths in the morning. We will reserve these for the evening. I'll make it a part of my nighttime routine of getting ready for bed. So, but thank you guys for watching. I have lots of ideas to share. So keep making your comments if you have questions about cold thermogenesis, ice baths, yada, yada, yada. Go ahead and leave them in the comment section. And yeah, we'll address all of those, I'm sure. Again, 365 days to talk about this topic. I'll have plenty to say and plenty of time to say it. So thank you guys for watching and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we'll be back again real soon. Brandy says, I was thinking about Mike when you mentioned doing interviews in the ice bath. Yes, this is kind of funny. I think it would be fun for those of us that are into ice baths if we did Instagram lives together where we're both on camera both doing an ice bath for, a set amount of time. Mike and I could probably pull off 10 minutes. And he's got a Morozco Forge as well, Brandy. So that would be fun. I might invite Mike to do that. That would be fun. Couple of bros freezing their blanks off. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here for now. We'll see you later. Bye.